I heard you at rallies myself, talking about moving to a new Zimbabwe, a country of hope. But with respect, Mr. President, you were so much part of the old Zimbabwe.
Yes.
I mean, you were in cabinet when opposition leaders were being beaten and being tortured. You were part of all that. Why should people believe that you've changed?
What they should believe in is what I am doing, the actions what I am doing, not the perceptions which they have. The actions that I am doing.
They call themselves a new dispensation, but today when they whisked away Job Sikala from Law and Order Department, they locked us, all the lawyers present, behind a steel door to prevent us from trekking same. This is an absolute fascist regime presided over by predatory fascists, says MDC Vice President Tendai Biti on Twitter. The whole idea was to disorient Honorable Job Sikala, instill fear in him. Such torture tactics are not acceptable. Section 219 creates a police service that must uphold the Constitution, including Chapter 4, the Bill of Rights, says Sikala's lawyer Roslyn Hansi.
Your nickname, Crocodile, has its roots in the Revolutionary War, but the crocodile is also a very patient and ruthless animal. Do those characteristics describe you, do you think, patient and ruthless?
I am as soft as wool. I am a very soft person in life, my brother.
In Zimbabwe, criticism is no longer tolerated. Opinion and activism are banned. If you want to meet critics of the government, well, you have to travel at night. We'd arranged to meet a man called Obert Masarure on a desolate stretch of road. He helps to run a teachers' union.
Mr. Masarure represents teachers in rural Zimbabwe, and he's been advocating for higher salaries. But that's a dangerous job in this country, and it's made him a target. Hi, Obert.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you for coming. Okay.
No, sorry for keeping you waiting.
He had a bad limp and a story about a terrifying visit, which followed his request for an increase in pay.
At least I saw 8 people, gun toting, some with AK-47 guns, one person with a pistol, and the black masks over their faces. These guys break into my house, they harass my wife, demanding to know where I was.
The attack took place 2 days before we met him, and the union rep was clearly traumatized.
And they took me to some bush, they stripped me naked. After stripping me naked, they were assaulting me all over my body, forcing me to roll all over the mud. They left me in the bush, and naked. They took my wallet, they took everything that was on me, and they left me naked. So literally this is around 3 a.m. Being left naked after being heavily assaulted by your own state. I only reached home around 6 a.m. My wife was devastated, my family was devastated. My wife was supposed to write an examination at 8 a.m. So you realize, so this was really brutal for me. But I think they are healing now, but I think you can still see all the marks are there.
Mr. Masarure received a terrible beating, but he doesn't regret his appeal. Teachers are now paid the equivalent of £1 a day.
You're punishing me for demanding that I need a salary which can pay the bills, a salary which can pay for the education of my kids, a salary which can pay for the health care of my family. That is not too much to ask for.
Human rights lawyers told us over 1,000 activists and ordinary citizens have been arrested in the past 6 months as part of a government drive to quash unrest. The economy here is close to collapse. But government officials say the lawyers are lying.
These civic leaders, civic society leaders, you simply fake an abduction, you fake that you've been harassed, you've been tortured, and you know that these Europeans, they will pour a lot of money into your account.
In January, Sky News was present when an ordinary citizen was beaten by members of the security forces. The assault took place in broad daylight on a residential street in Harare. We found the victim in rural Zimbabwe. He said he was targeted because the soldiers thought he was a member of the opposition party, the MDC.
ndakange ndamboona vamwe vairohwa mutauni nemasoja. Saka panguva iyoyo ndakangoona kuti zvakangofanana nekuti maroerwo aiitwa vanhuka ndaitonyatsoziva kuti ndini wakandibata waindirohwa zvakaipa, nekuti kana matsikira aindiita musoro chaiyo chaiyo musoja zvaitova zvokuda kutikuwadza.
Initially, the police force denied it, claiming our pictures were taken in 2016. But they've changed their minds, informing us that 2 officers have now been suspended. Still, our interviewee is skeptical.
Inini handikwanisa kuzvibvuma nekuti kana ivo vakatombonyeba kuti video ndera 2016 hapana paungazosungisa mumwe wavo kana umeendesa kukoti.
The dream of a democratic Zimbabwe is in tatters. Just ask 5 community workers who were jailed for trying to overthrow the state. We watched as they were released on bail.
No one wants to greet or embrace the activists outside the front gate of the prison, so I think they're going to do it somewhere else.
They were locked up for 3 weeks on their return from a civil rights conference overseas, and the group seemed relieved.
We are innocent citizens in a supposed to be free Zimbabwe, and you just get arrested for participating in a workshop. That's ridiculous.
The government has accused you of insurrection.
Well, they are paranoid, they are clueless, they are trying to divert people from the attention of where is the bread, where are the salaries, where is employment.
The taste of freedom.
A taste of freedom on a dirt track near Chikarubi jail. But these advocates and activists know it could be brief. John Sparks, Sky News in Zimbabwe.
In the past, we had roadblocks all over. The police roadblocks. I've removed those.
Well, you tell me you're as soft as wool. I would suspect you're as hard as nails.
Yeah, because you have read so much bad publicity by my enemies, which has sunk into you. I don't blame you. But as we go on and as you relate, you discover that you were wrong. Then if you are man enough, you come and say, Comrade Mnangagwa, I was wrong about you. You are such a nice man.